So for my code demo, I'm going to import all the relevant libraries to begin with. So SQLite 3, so I'm going to run the SQL first and then the SQL later. So running all this, you get to see all the tables that I've created. So far I've created products and membership. I've also created a new table here called customers with the relevant primary key and foreign key constraints here as well, and also the attribute constraints as well. So that runs successfully. Verifying all the tables run, you can see that customers has now been added. I'm also going to input some data in the customers table as well. So let me just run that now. So I've read this data. I created a CSV file which has been read successfully. I also have ran this data, which takes a bit of time to run, and then it runs successfully there. And then just to verify the data has been correctly inputted, I just call it. I also created a pandas data frame, which is shown here, of all the rows and all the attributes. So if I wanted to add a new row to this data frame, I just insert into the customers table. I've added a new customer called customer 53, Alex Thompson, and these are the relevant attributes and the data for each attribute. I can also update a row here as well. So I'm going to update Alex's name. I'm going to update Alex's name here. I'm going to call it Ruby just for the sake of just testing it. Let's run that. So we can see that when I run this code, I can just double check this, that the name has now been changed to Ruby Thompson. I can also delete a customer as well. So if I want to delete row 53, for example, I've just created, I can do that very easily here as well. Just run that, and then I can just double check that it's been deleted by running this code and then putting the line of just the customer ID I've just deleted, and then running that, and you can see there's nothing in that table as well. And I created the other SQL tables in the same way, with the link table created here, where I reference customer and products because that's a many-to-many relationship between those two tables. So they're my foreign keys for that table. Moving on to the NoSQL part now. So for my NoSQL part, I use Mongo Engine to create an embedded document. So the first document is employee, which when I run that, it runs successfully. I then created employee number 1, which I've already ran, employee number 2, which runs, employee 3, which runs as well, employee 4, and employee 5, and 6. So 6 employees in total. I then created a manual data frame for this table, and then I'm going to also show you the other table I created as well. For table 2, I created a location table here, and you can tell it's a one-to-many relationship because I use a list field here as well, where I reference employee. So I run location number 1, location number 2 here as well, which has been saved, and then location number 3, which has been saved here as well. I'll now show you the pandas data frame I created. So I created individual data frames for each of my tables, for both my SQL and my NoSQL, and then I concatenated them both, as you can see here. I also used regex to clean it up to make sure to remove all the null values as well. Since some of the tables are a lot shorter than others, so these are blank rather than with null values.